Doctor Who is one of the longest-running shows on TV, but the 2020s have left fans of the series feeling deflated for several reasons. Doctor Who came back in 2005 after a long hiatus that saw the series cancelled in 1989. In between those two dates, the Doctor did have a solo feature adventure with Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor in an attempt to move the show to the States, but it failed to gain the audience it had hoped for. Despite this, the 2005 revival was broadly welcomed, with Russell T Davies' spectacular writing, and Christopher Eccleston delivering a stellar performance as the madman in a box. Unfortunately, after 15 years of relative success for the show, the 2020s have been significantly less kind. While there are a number of reasons that appear to have evolved out of the show's progression and changes over time, there are other elements that stand out as the biggest reasons why it's difficult to be a fan of Doctor Who in its latest era. Not being able to say, the Doctor originally came from Gallifrey. First up, one of the biggest seismic shifts in the show's history came under the tenure of showrunner Chris Chibnall, as he completely altered the origins of the Doctor. Over the decades, the series has adapted and shifted certain aspects of the story, and even who the Doctor is, but the introduction of the timeless child narrative has single-handedly thrown the entire history of the show into question. In the Doctor Who Season 12 finale, The Timeless Child, the Doctor was shocked to learn that they had been lied to their entire life, and despite being raised as a normal Time Lord child on Gallifrey, they were in fact a much more integral part of their society than they had been led to believe. The episode revealed that the Doctor was a mysterious being who fell from the sky, and whose unique genetics opened the door for the Time Lord race to develop the ability to regenerate. Unfortunately, that means that they are not actually from Gallifrey, and they are now more mysterious than ever, with their entire past becoming a complete mystery. Classic Doctor Who villains being given a CGI overhaul image via Disney+. One of the more charming aspects of old-school TV, especially in the world of sci-fi, was the use of practical effects and costumes to bring aliens and monsters to life. Doctor Who benefited from this in a major way from 1963 all the way up to the modern era of the show, but as the budget expanded and the ambition grew, things have changed. Some of the most recent episodes of Doctor Who have continued to employ practical effects in combination with CGI, but in other instances, such as when bringing back classic villains, the show has opted for a CGI-first approach. Unfortunately, that means much of the early charm has evaporated. Only getting 8 episodes per season. This is a problem that exists for the majority of TV shows, not just Doctor Who, but with the rise of streaming and the evolution of TV in general, shows have gone from having more episodes in a single season to a more condensed timeline that consists of single-digit episodes in each season. Consider for a moment that the classic era of the show had a release schedule resembling soap operas, with short 20-minute episodes that told a single story across 3 to 6 episodes, with a new episode airing every week for about 9 or 10 months of the year. When the show returned in 2005, seasons consisted of about 13 episodes, or just over 3 months of the year when released on a weekly basis. Then by 2017, the show started to wind back to about 10 episodes a season, before the most recent entries have gone down to 8 episodes a season, or just 2 months' worth of Doctor Who in a given year when a season of the show airs. Frankly, this just isn't enough. No clear future for where the series is going or where it will live. The most recent seasons of Doctor Who seem to be on a path to major improvements, with the series getting international interest and a partnership with Disney+ to stream the show outside the UK. This also led to a bump in the budget, but after 2 seasons, the deal has fallen apart, and Doctor Who will no longer continue to have a place on Disney+'s platform. While the BBC has promised to continue in their commitment to the show in the UK, there is no clear plan for when a new season will be released, who will play the Doctor next, or how it will be shared with the rest of the world. Recent Doctor Who has put the message over the story. Another unfortunate victim of the latest era of Doctor Who has been the stories as a whole. While the show has always been on the cutting edge and managed to incorporate forward-thinking messages and progressive ideals, the show has gotten to the point where many of these ideas seem to take precedence over the actual story. These messages are not the problem, but the lack of focus or attention on the actual vehicle that they are being transmitted across, namely the actual episodes and their narratives, has made them increasingly hollow and devoid of the exciting and thought-provoking characteristics that made the show a mainstay for so many decades. The Doctor Who fanbase is incredibly divisive. On that same note, the Doctor Who fanbase appears to have become increasingly toxic, with a lot of vocal detractors constantly berating the elements of the show that they don't like. While criticism is healthy and can lead to a better product in the end, the creatives working on the show seem to be of the mindset of ignoring the haters. Meanwhile, fans of the way the show used to be make negative remarks about the modern era. Modern fans debate about how the older show missed the mark in so many ways, and the end result is a fanbase that is incredibly divided. Of course, with the show spanning several generations, there are many different people from all walks of life watching, with very different opinions about what makes the show great. The constant attempts to reinvent Doctor Who. In the face of so much change and responding to how the show needs to evolve, there have also been concentrated efforts to reimagine the show and reinvent it. The 2005 series notably shifted away from some parts of the earlier classic series, with updates to the way it was filmed and major changes that came with the fallout of the Great Time War. Then, when Stephen Moffat left the position of showrunner and handed things over to Chris Chibnall, the series had a female Doctor for the first time in the series run, along with new companions, a new style of shooting, and overall